we can continue to pass on the stories and that will keep us here forever. That's a true story. Okay? Because we are the living.
Bonjour, beautiful beings, and welcome to a special episode of the TB podcast. As today we have a special guest live in the studio here. We're about to put on an absolute magnificent display this week at the Bendigo Comedy Festival. Please welcome Poppa Rozaia.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Trent.
Did I pronounce it right?
Rozaia, but that's pretty anglicised now.
Rozaia.
Yeah, what's your background? I'm Italian, that's my background.
We've got a little bit of Spanish and Cornish.
Yeah.
Well, there was a bit of Cornish, a bit of Spanish infiltration back in the day.
If you go back far enough, Rozaia actually is Spanish.
Ah.
I think I reckon around Columbus time, someone went to a port in Italy and stayed there.
Oh, as you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I think that's where, we've just got straight into it, jump in the introduction and the promo, all that sort of stuff. But, Cornwall was the original home of bootlegging. Oh. So I think that's where I get the thirst for the underground tunes from, mate. So basically, you know the episode of The Simpsons? We're straight into it.
Yeah.
Simpsons, there you go. I didn't mean to put it there. But, where Homer's doing the bowling balls with the bootlegging alcohol thing.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a takeoff of Cornwall. So the old hotels, so what used to happen was like the Moroccans and the French and the Egyptians would come over to bring in the booty off the ships.
Yep.
Because there's such a high tax on the alcohol and the jewellery, in the middle of the night, the locals would go out with their big high gumboots on, and that was bootlegging. They'd shove all the booty that they could in there and get it from them and then bring it in.
So that's the meaning of the word bootlegging.
And it would come in through the bottom of the hotels. There's some videos on YouTube and that, some of the old hotels have still got the tunnels that the guys used to come through. So there you go. Enough about bootlegging in Cornwall. But let's get into it. First of all, how's your day been? We're in the lovely city of Greater Bendigo. What have you been up to? How'd you get here?
What have I been up to today? I woke up real early and started just preparing for the festival show next week. So I was doing a lot of writing and prep for that and just getting my head around that.
So that's this Friday?
This Friday, the 18th of October, 6:15 at Mackenzie Quarters.
Just over the back?
Yep.
Jump out the back door over there?
So I'm doing a show with Jim Hollowell and Mike Elliott, sort of a split show.
Yep.
It's going to be pretty silly, I think.
It will be.
The idea is going to be some PowerPoint, some musical stuff, maybe a guest appearance from Jemima.
Jemima.
That's one of Jim's alter egos.
Oh, okay.
So he's done a few times.
Oh, Jemima. I've seen Jemima down at the Queen's Arms.
Yeah, some stuff like that. So it's going to be pretty fun and silly. But so I spent the morning, woke up early and started writing. Then after that, try to get a little nap in actually. You a napper?
If I eat too much at lunchtime and a little mid-arvo siesta, it can come in handy, particularly if you've got something big happening in the night time. So I was going to ask who you're wearing today. You've come...
Oh, to be honest, I think the shorts are op shop and I don't know where I got it. I think I bought this t-shirt online. I'm not... I like fashion, but I don't... I don't have particular brands or anything, but I like op shops, to be honest. I like finding...
Thrifty.
My favourite jacket at the moment is I got it... people keep telling me I look like I'm in the Jamaican Olympic team. It's sort of...
Could be cool runnings, is it?
Yeah, it's got a bit of cool runnings about it. But actually, it's actually a BP...
like a worker's jacket?
Yeah, worker's jacket, like a British Petroleum worker's jacket. Yeah. And I just like it. It's something different. You don't see anyone else wearing it.
No, well,
so I like that.
Except for the guys that are still over in the fuel fields.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I'm not a massive brand man myself, other than I do love the merch though.
Yeah.
Bands, comedy, and basketball jerseys. Basically, this is the old Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm, JB Smooth.
Yeah.
I've got the matching thongs on, not that you can see them, but of course the Sixers shorts. You told me you're a Sixers fan, but do you want to talk sports or we wait till the season starts?
Well, as I said to you before the pod started, Sixers fan, but fell off it a little bit.
Yeah.
I was big into it during the process years.
Yeah, well, they're hyping us back up this year, but just manage your expectations, Sixers fans.
Yeah, I think I was really into watching like summer league footage of, or workout footage of Mark Alfoltz working on his show.
Oh yeah, Michael Carter Williams.
Yeah, Ben Simmons.
Norns, Noel, just
Yeah. When they all, there was hope that they're all gonna come good at the same time.
Oh,
it's just
like OKC have done it exactly how you should do it.
Yeah,
they should be the best team in the West this season. But
no one else probably cares. But like the stuff up that they made when they traded the number 3 pick to get the number 1 pick
for Tatum.
What they could have done. What they should have done is done that deal and then taken Tatum.
100%.
Because if Boston knew they didn't want to take Fultz,
Boston didn't want to. Yeah, exactly.
That makes you suspicious. Well, if they think Tatum's so good, we'll take him. Yeah, let's do the deal, and they take him.
Definitely.
That would have been the perfect move, especially to your rivals.
Yeah, but also knowing how that's played out, Tatum would have then done his knee. Fultz would have been a superstar.
Yeah.
What were you listening to in the car on the way here?
Dinosaur Jr.
Tell me more.
So yeah, like I don't know if you know Dinosaur Jr. at all.
No, that's what I'm asking.
Like, 80 sort of alternate sort of, I don't know what you call it, almost like shoegazy sort of noise pop. It's one of the bands I never got into when I was younger, because when I listened to I was into like grunge and punk and stuff when I was a kid, and they were too soft. Like even though I saw some people like in the same sort of scenes I was into wearing their shirts, I tried listening to them and like, nah, not for me.
Yeah.
But then I've gone back to them and gone, these guys are actually really, really, really good. And like, like I don't think I've ever listened to a proper album. I just chuck it on, just take on Spotify.
So where are they from?
From US. I think they're from Boston. But I don't really I don't even know their backstory or anything.
Okay.
Other than I've heard that Jay Mascis, the lead singer, can be a bit of a dick. But
I
don't even know if that's true or not. I guess it's like, sorry, Jay Mascis, if you're not. Like, I don't know.
We're just throwing it out there.
Yeah. And I listened to another band, Sebadella, who was like a split off of them.
Okay.
But I don't know their history other than I like their music. Like I'm a bit bad with that. Some other things I get real into the fandom.
Okay.
But music, not as much. Yeah.
Well, someone's backstory you do know, hopefully, is your own.
Yeah.
So let's, I guess, go into a little bit about. We'll talk a bit more about what we can expect at the comedy festival later. But I guess growing up, you're from Bendigo.
Yeah, I actually grew up in
Mooroopna.
near Shepparton. Yeah.
Mooroopna, Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take it.
It was different to Bendigo. I'll give you that. It was much more rough.
Yep.
Much more working class.
Shout out to the Shepparton Gators, by the way. Actually, it's right here. It's sitting right there. The Gators beating.
Yeah.
Matt Bartlett and the Shepparton boys over there. I've helped out the basketball team a little bit in the past.
Oh yeah. Do you know Dave Freer?
Dave Freer. Did he free the slavers?
I don't know.
That was Lincoln.
Oh yes, yeah. No, he definitely is not a politician, no, but he was general manager or whatever
for the Gators.
For years, and one of my old man's mates.
So
what you want to know?
Yeah, okay. What brought you to Bendigo?
Just Dad changed work like when I was about 15. So I moved high school like at that sort of year 9 age. So interesting time to move.
Yep.
And I remember one of the guys because Bendigo was much more middle class. I moved to Strathdale. Much more middle class.
Oh, that's an upper class out there.
Yeah, well, it's much more upper class compared to Mooroopna.
Yep.
I'll tell you that. Like, I remember saying, one of the kids said, do you do drugs? I'm like, yeah, man. Like, I do drugs. Like, trying to be cool. And then he starts going, you're a drugger. Oh, bloody Sean's a drugger.
From Mooroopna, drugger from Mooroopna.
Yeah, and they're all teasing me.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man. Like, in Mooroopna, that was the cool thing, is that,
Yep.
But it wasn't. They were all in sport, but it was good though, because then all my mates in Bendigo were like, "Oh, yeah, we're going to go to uni." I'm like, "What? We can go to uni?" Like, yeah. And I was like, "Oh," because that was never on the radar.
Well, even I went to Eagle Hawk. Even there, it wasn't really on the radar until I went to Bendigo Senior. Yeah, you're kind of right.
Yeah. It's funny.
Cool. So when you moved over to, we'll talk about one of our favourite comedians. Like, we'll go through our favourite comedies. That's what the idea of this episode's about. So I guess. Show a bit about what has shaped your comedy background. We're going to go through some of the best comedians, some of our favourite shows of all time. But one thing that Tony Hinchcliffe does joke about a lot is how the best comedians usually have some sort of trauma as a kid. So was that coming from Mooroopna, or just living in Mooroopna itself? Was that it, or was it something that might have had with a pet or anything like that? Or
look, I think the trauma on pets sadly were more my mistakes. I think they experienced more trauma than I did. Look, I think. growing up in Mooroopna was certainly a different experience, and certainly probably a few traumas there. Some of them I won't get into, but there's probably a little bit of trauma of that, and just probably the general mental health stuff that you can have in a family. Like that's probably been my traumas and dealing with that, but I won't get into other people's personal stuff, as you can imagine. But with the pets, so we I don't know, I just had bad luck with pets as a kid. I did.
Yeah.
Like one, I remember I looked after a mate's guinea pig. He was going away for the weekend, so he said, "Oh, can you look after the guinea pig?" Yeah, no worries. So we looked after the guinea pig, did everything right, fed the guinea pig, looked after it, changed the newspaper, everything. But over the 2 days, it lost all its hair.
What?
Yeah, it got like alopecia, like overnight alopecia, and just lost its hair.
Is this like living next to a nuclear power plant? That was your house?
Well, yeah. Maybe it was a pig farmer, I don't know. I don't know if he was like, if there was anything coming off for the pigs, I don't know. But no, he lost all its hair, and it looked gross.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing. Like I felt so bad taking it back to my mate's house on the bloody late Sunday. It's like, I'm sorry that your guinea pig now looks like a fat pink cock. It did. It looked like a cock in the face.
How did you know what that looked like?
Wow. It's probably only now on reflection.
But the reflection in the mirror.
Yeah. Well, on reflection now as an adult, I can picture what it looked like. But yeah, that was terrible. I also another experience with a pet. We've had a few. One was sadly our cat. Dad said, "Look, it's going to have to be put down or whatever." We're all pretty sad, and then Dad goes outside, grabs a shovel, finds the cat. All we hear is a smash window. He's missed the cat, hit the window. Cat lived for another 3 years. So that was actually a good story. But this one, I don't know. This maybe cut this out. I don't know, because this is pretty traumatic for me. Because what I did, my sister had a hermit crab, and I thought when we got it from the pet shop, they said, if it's like not doing much, like get some warmth, we'll get it active. So
You sit there like massaging it like a greyhound before a race.
that would have been smarter than what I did, which was put it in the microwave for 5 seconds.
So you're Pinchy, like we're home putting Pinchy in the bathtub, with the warm bathtub.
I haven't seen that episode.
Home, they get the lobster, Pinchy.
Oh, yeah.
And Homer wants to have a bath, falls in love with the lobster and loves it more than the kids.
Yeah.
And then puts it in the bath and boils it.
Well, yeah, I did that to Pepe the hermit crab.
Pepe the hermit.
Yeah, but like,
What's the difference with a hermit crab and a regular crab?
well, they live in a shell, so they don't have their own hardback shell. They live in an environmentally found
Oh, so
shell.
hermit must mean home crab.
Yes. So it tried to when I heated it up in the microwave, which is I can't believe I'm telling, because I kept this secret for like probably 12, 13 years before I told my family what I did, as you can imagine. Anyway, he tried to get out of the shell, and whilst he was getting cooked, but I panicked and I just put him back in his enclosure. So Mum gets home and then she called in my sister and says, "Hey Ash, come over look at bloody Pepe. He's leaving his shell," because they said he might leave his shell and we just see him go into another shell. So we're sitting there watching him, and yeah, it took him a while to realise he wasn't going to move again.
He's just actually trying to crawl out to escape the overheated concentration home that you put him in.
So a few traumatic experiences with pets, but that mainly my own doing.
We had a dog that was called Gizmo, and I think that later in the years that Mum used to say that he was a gay dog. Now I know what you're thinking. Not all pets take after their owners, but then one day he didn't come back. But there was not even a punchline of that.
No.
Let's do that, I guess. Sometimes when they know where they're going
to do you know? Oh, he did just die. He didn't.
I don't know if he died. But he used to just wander off every now and then, but he'd always come back. Now, we had a cat called Ali. She was. My sister got her when she was 5, and she lasted for probably 20 odd years. And she did the thing that cats do, but I think they just. When she got hit, she just went off into the forest when she knew it was time. Which again, not that funny.
No.
That's actually Greblo comedy for you.
I was going to say, well, I don't think I ever had a gay pet, but I did have my sister's dog when I was living with her. I took him for a walk, and I was walking with my son as well in a pram, and the dog ran into the bush and started barking, and a couple of guys came out. What I later found out was that it was a beat. It was a gay beat, and it's like, shit, the dog might be actually, he wasn't gay, I think he was a homophobe. And like, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry guys, Kid, doing what you doing? I'll join you, but I got the kid, you know.
Did you hear the dog that went into the Telegraph, you know, where you said the telegram, and he went in, and the guy's like, what would you like to write in the telegram? And the dog goes, woof, 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 woof. And the guy goes to him, that's 9 woofs. We've got a deal at the moment, you get 10 woofs. Do you want me to just add another woof? And the dog goes, no, because that wouldn't make any sense. I'm not going to talk about the bunny experience that we had, talking about family members or housemates looking after their pets. But basically, our housemate, she was in Bali, and one morning we woke up and her rabbit was in its cage, upside down, and we did not know what to do. And someone's like, just put it in a group chat. Just put it in a group chat. Well, I'm not doing it. Put it in a group chat. And we didn't want to spoil her trip, so then we ended up bringing her boyfriend, and the boyfriend obviously going to tell her. And then, but anyway, I don't know. Would you put it in a group chat?
Oh, I think
we had a house group chat like with banter going.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely a private message or saying, can you give me a call?
Okay.
That's what.
Or would you wait till they come home and act silly? Meanwhile, you'd have to celebrate.
Well, I guess yeah. Like, 'cause what do you do? Oh, actually, it reminds me of another story. I'll tell you in a second. But because what do you do? Like, because there's a couple of options. I think that probably the most sensible one, but I don't know if I would do it. The sensible one now, without the emotion,
I know what you're going to say.
Is message them and just say, give me a call, and then talk to them and explain what happened. Like, I think it's a phone call scenario.
Well, that's what we did. I thought you were going to say just replace the rabbit.
Oh no, well, there's that as well. But I think the other option would be to wait until their trip's nearly over or is over, and just say it just happened.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, because that's the other option. That like it's a bit of a coward's way, but you might be trying to save their feelings and so they can enjoy their trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you also got to live with the guilt. And what are we going to do with this rabbit? We want to bury it. We wait till they get home.
That's the. Yeah. Well, this reminds me of 2 stories. One was I had a ex-girlfriend who was like a vegan, quite an animal lover, lovely person. She had a little lorikeet.
Lorikeet.
Yeah, that was her son. So she had for her son, and he.
Explain what the colour of lorikeet is. How is lorikeet different to a parakeet?
Oh, I don't know, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it was a parakeet. I just went with it.
Parakeets was a rainbow budgies.
Yeah. It was a rainbow budgie.
Okay, I'm going to crack the joke. Since we're talking about animals. Thanks for bringing over.
No worries.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Brr.
So she had this.
Sorry, I got to drink left. Sorry to cut you off because otherwise I get caught out for buffalo and then you have to scull it. Do you know that one?
No.
If you drink in your strong hand, this is a buster game. If you drink in your strong hands and someone catches you, you have to scull it. Just habit is to drink with the left.
Yep.
But now that's with the drinking hand. So then technically, am I just drinking in your strong hand? I don't know.
You played a lot more drinking games than me by the sound of it.
We had a lot of basketball trips.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So she had this little budgie that for her son, and she was. I felt guilty that it was living in this little cage. The son wasn't looking after it much, and wasn't getting a lot of joy out of it. So she felt guilty that it was living in a little cage, and she knew that my dad had an aviary.
Mm-hmm.
So
we had an aviary on Weber?
Yeah.
It was a thing back then.
Yeah. Well, this was not like this is probably 10 years ago or something.
Like one of those walk-in.
Yeah. Bird things. Anyhow, she says, "Oh, can you take the bird?" Like we'd broken up or whatever a few months before, but we're still sort of friendly. And she goes, "Can you take this bird?" And I wanted to have a better life. I think in an aviary would have a better life. I'm like, yeah, no worries. I checked with Dad. He's like, yeah, you can take it and put it in the aviary. So anyway, I released the budgie into the aviary, and then he goes, "Oh, hey, was that living inside or outside?" I'm like, "Oh, inside." And he goes, "Oh, it's the middle of the winter. That won't last the night."
Yeah, right.
So I went back in the aviary. I'm trying to get this budgie back into the cage. Could not get it in. I just had to give up.
Yeah, right.
The next morning, she sends me a message. How's the budgie going? I went out there. It was dead, but it was on the perch still, so it looked alive. So I just took a photo. Sent it to him and said, "Yeah, he's loving it."
Just sitting still,
Yeah, he was just frozen on the perch, poor thing.
I wouldn't consider that either. I'll give you a little.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, I didn't think of it, and in Dad's defence, he was on it. He'd been quite unwell at the time and was on a lot of like pain meds and stuff, morphine and stuff. So I don't think he was thinking straight. It wasn't until later that he sort of had a moment of clarity and realised that this wasn't a good idea. But
yeah,
it was too late. Then I couldn't get. There was no getting that budgie back into the little cage.
Oh, poor little budgie. You talked before about, you said you was a vegan, and now, those of us in the show know that I am a vegan bitch, as I'm officially called amongst my friends. But it makes me think about how the world's changing and progressing. And you know when people go missing, they put them on the milk.
Yeah.
Now if there's less normal milk, does that mean, like, if a vegan goes missing, does that mean they put them on an almond milk?
Yeah.
Or a milk?
You put them on the sort of milk you think that they're...
They might have. Well, I don't know. Have you ever gone missing? Did you ever run off as a kid? You were like someone who might go adventuring?
Yeah, a couple, I got mistaken for a person who was missing.
What?
Yeah.
Well, on a box of almond milk?
Well, no, he wasn't on a box of almond milk. He was on the front page of the paper, this old fella, poor guy. This old guy had gone missing in Mooroopna. Right.
Missing in Mooroopna?
Yeah, missing in Mooroopna, yeah.
So, hang on. So he was either in the back of someone's shed, drinking piss, having ciggies, or doing donuts out the back of the shed and race course.
Yeah, down the lake. Doing lappies on the lake.
Lappies at the lake, yeah.
That's a classic thing in Shep, but yeah, or you could be down at the Dippers. The Dippers were the spot to hang out and drink.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of nefarious people hanging out at the Dippers at the river.
You go to the wrong toilets down at Lake Mooroopna, some blokes will give you lappies by the lake, I think. Anyway,
I won't take my sister's dog there. Bloody homophobic prick. So this old fellow went missing. He was in an old age home and he went missing, and it was all over the news and stuff, and front page of the paper and stuff. Anyway, the sort of description of him was that he was carrying an overnight bag and a guitar case.
Right.
Anyway,
so it's just a description of a drifter from the 1800s who walks along the train tracks.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So anyway, I'd gone off to a one-day cricket match with my mate, or my cricket team that day, around this time, and was going to stay at my mate's who lived 500 metres down the road from my house.
Yeah.
And I'd kept my overnight bag there and my cricket bag, because we were playing cricket the next morning.
Yeah.
When we were coming home from the cricket at midnight or something, we'd gone past my parents' house. My parents had come home from their party they'd been to, and I said to my mate, look, rather than sleep on your trundle bed, I'm going to go back and sleep in my own bed.
Yeah.
City of cricket, so I'll walk home. It's 500 metres.
Yeah.
Anyway, walking home, it's 500 metres, and under there's a car parked on the side of the road with two ladies in it, and they were famous ladies because in a small country town, the only sort of known young lesbians that we were aware of.
Famous ladies.
Yeah, famous.
Yeah.
Well, because that was a talk of the town or whatever, or for the young boys, for the young blokes, because in the 90s we were pretty sheltered. It was a bit of a different time.
Yeah.
But anyway, they were making out in their car.
Do you know what their favourite bottle is? Legoland. Carry on. Go off thirsty camel. I don't know.
There's options.
They weren't your first choice. Oh,
yeah.
you weren't their first choice.
Yeah, and they're not into Dan Murphy's. Anyway, so they're making out in their car, these ladies. And I'm sort of walking on the other side of the road, just rubbernecking a little bit. But then they start slowly following me. Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know what was going on.
They're probably been intimidating figures without being stereotypical.
Yeah, no, they were. I think one of them was a ruckman in the local women's football team.
Yeah.
I didn't really know them. They were probably like 5 or 6 years older than me. I was like 14 at the time. They were like late teens, maybe early 20s.
Yep.
I just sort of knew who they were generally. But anyway, so they sort of followed me really slowly as I've walked the last couple hundred metres home. And as I've gone in the front door, I've looked and they're just stopped out the front of the house. A bit weird. Hour later, get a knock on the door. I've fallen asleep. Knock on the door. Cops are there.
Right.
And they started interrogating me. Oh man, has any old people come into this house in the last hour or so? He's like, no. Just me and my wife and my son came home. He'd been at the cricket, and then they got me up, woke me up, and I had to parade up and down the front,
Porch,
yeah, sort of with my cricket bag and stuff. And they're like, no, there was definitely an old man. He came into this house.
Yeah.
Anyway. And I'd just woken, I'd fallen into a deep sleep, so I wasn't clear of mind to say, they followed me and stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the next morning we go on to cricket, we saw there was a cop over the other side of the street knocking on doors.
Oh, really?
Obviously interrogating, trying to find out where this old man was there. And then that's what I said to Dad. Oh, Dad, I remember.
Yeah, they think I'm the old man.
Yeah, they think I'm the old man. The ladies actually followed me Yeah, and it was like when we thought about it, is because of the cricket bag and the overnight bag.
You would have looked like a classic drifter, silhouette of a drifter.
Yeah, exactly, and they're probably high on drugs or whatever, you know. Yeah. Friday night in a small country town, what are you going to do?
Yeah, probably thought they might get a bit of a reward as well.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. And or they were just having a prank. Thought it would be funny. I never even thought of that. It's pretty funny. That's what they were doing, just making it, just pulling his leg. But sadly,
maybe they were trying to throw off the one cop in town because they were doing something dodgy. So they're like, we saw the guy, and then they're wasting their time knocking on doors. Meanwhile, they're out robbing and licking.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Rubbernecking?
Look, that's the thing.
Rubber licking.
Sadly, the old guy didn't get far from his house, and he was found in a swamp.
Wait.
So that was a bit of a sad ending to that story, but
yeah. By choice?
No. I don't think. No, I think he had dementia and stuff.
Okay. Way to put a positive spin on that one.
You can cut it before we say that he
we
died.
need to like make it. Put a bow in it.
Yeah.
But so back then, you mentioned about knocking on the neighbour's door. You mentioned about knocking with. You mentioned about door knocking to all the neighbours.
Yeah, the cops. Yeah.
Do you reckon they're looking in the bins?
Don't know.
You seem like someone who would have been hiding in bins back in the day.
You could see me.
Or was this your neighbour that was obsessed with bins?
Oh yeah, no.
I'm setting you up, mate.
No, I did have it. Yeah, this is actually back in Shep as well. But as an adult, I moved back to Shep for about a year.
Okay. Why?
My girlfriend at the time.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's always women working or sports.
So we were living in Shep, and we had this old. It was an old farmer guy living in the front flat in front of us, and he obviously was he just used to live on property and sort of being in charge of everything. Mm-hmm. He was always worried about our bins and always talking to us about our bins. Anyway, one day I sort of was going to work, so I drove down our shared driveway, and he starts running out in his sort of flapping dressing gown. This guy he had a walking stick and everything, but he didn't have his walking stick. He was like sort of, limping towards me as quick as he could, out of breath. He got to the car and he's like, "Sean, the garbage truck came, picked up your bin, but no rubbish came out." And I'm like, "Okay, Bert, well, whatever, who cares, mate?" He goes, "What are you going to do?" He goes, and he's like having a go at me too. He's like, "I told you, mate. I told you shouldn't." As in the bin was that full? That full. That's full. And that's what he was upset about and he told us this. He's like, "I don't think you should have that size of bin for 3 people in that house. This house, you need a bigger bin." So he predicted it, and he was right. Yeah. Well done, Bert. He was right, and anyway, we were big consumers. He's like, "What are you?" Well, of course, we're young. We're drinking beers and pizza and stuff that's just going to fill up the bin. It was before the recycle days. Jeez, don't look at my bin on the way out. He might be on it. What was his name? Bert. Bert might be. Jeez, if Bert come around and saw my bin at the moment, you're in strife. It'd be time. It's chockers. But old Bert, he's like, "What are you going to do?" I said, I'll go to work and I'll ring the council." So no worries. When I get home, he's waiting out on the front porch at the end of the day. And he comes over to me, he sort of waves me down again. He's like, "Did you ring the council?" I said, "No." He goes, "I didn't think you would." He goes, "Don't worry though, I solved it." Yeah, he solved it. I said, "How'd you fix it?" And he's got bloody hearing aids. He goes, "I heard the truck go on the street behind us, so I jumped in my car and I found the garbage truck and I lost him." Which I don't know how you lose a garbage truck, because he stops at every house. But then he came back the other way. The garbage truck was coming down the other side of the street. He intercepted him. Yeah, he intercepted him. He said he started flashing his lights and drove directly towards him, so he had to stop. He got out of his car, explained to him what had happened. Garbage truck came back around, did our bin individually, solved. Well, probably because he knew that it was going to be another week, and you guys were not going to slow down, and it was just going to yeah. Big mess of flies. I've never met someone who cared so much about someone else's bin. Yeah. So yeah, that was a bit of a weird neighbour, I guess. Have a quick break. We'll be back right after this for podcast listeners.